And I think we're live. All right. Hi, everybody. It's Gina, and it is Wednesday, November 11th, and it actually happens to be Veterans Day. So, but I usually have my Wisdom Wednesday, so I decided I'd go ahead and continue. But I hope that everyone is having a pleasant Wednesday, and I'd like to just start off by saying thank you to all of the veterans who might be watching, or who, even if you're not watching, just want to say thank you for your service. I know I've got quite a few friends who are veterans, and so I just want to say thank you. This is a very special day. I decided to continue with Wisdom Wednesday today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about my morning routine. I've had a few questions about, what do I do as far as the mornings are concerned. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my morning routine. I'm streaming to Facebook as well as YouTube. So as you pop in, just say hello, and your comments should show up here in the chat. So I see that there are a few people watching, but just pop a comment in the comment section, and just say hi. Again, my name is Gina. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my morning routine today, since I've had a few questions. And if you do any of these things that I'm going to mention, I'd love to know, because I'd like to know, other people out there who are doing same or similar things that I am. And at the end of this, if you stay till the very end of this broadcast, I am going to share or make a special announcement, and it's going to be a big one. I've never done anything like this before, so you're going to want to stick around. This particular one shouldn't be too long. But if you do have any questions about anything that I'm asking, please go ahead and just pop them in the chat as well, and I will respond to them either on screen here or after the live is complete. All right, so my morning routine. What does my morning routine look like? Well, typically, I wake up somewhere between 3:30 and 5. It's a huge. Some days my eyes pop open at really early hours of the morning, but most of the time I'm awake prior to 5 o'clock. Right? And I usually take that time to meditate, do morning devotion, that sort of thing. Rain is really coming down hard. We are expecting like a storm to pass by here, so it's raining pretty hard outside. So I wake up fairly early every single morning. I don't think there's any. I have slept in a couple mornings, but usually between 3:30 and 5 o'clock, I naturally wake up and I'll do meditation. I'll do a morning devotion, and then I also use that time to express gratitude. And the first one is usually, thank you for helping me to open two gifts, and the two gifts are my eyes, of course. And then I usually will go on from there. My meditation could involve a deep meditation, or it could just involve like a prayer and devotion type of thing. It all depends on the particular day. And my devotion or meditation usually takes between 30 to 45 minutes. All right. And then I also use that time to set my intention for the day. I will check my calendar and I'll see what I have scheduled for the particular that particular day, and see if there's anything else that I need to add in. Maybe I missed something, so sometimes I'll go through my emails at that point and see, because right now there's a couple summits that I'm taking part in. So I'll go in and make sure that I have all of that scheduled throughout the day as well. And then once I know what I'm doing, I'm also taking 2 classes right now. One is a business course, and the other one is a financial course. So I'll also some of the courses will have like a meditation for them, built into the program. So I'll add that in if that is happening on that particular day, I'll add that into my calendar as well. Then I will get up usually, and I will go and I will make my drink. This is something I drink every single morning. It's apple cider vinegar and lemon juice liquid. It's mixed in with water. So it's usually about maybe a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar mixed in with about a teaspoon of lemon juice. And then I fill it up to about 6 to 8 ounces of water, and I will drink that. And I have that every single morning before I eat anything. And I usually wait at least 30 to 45 minutes before I eat anything. But you'll hear later on that my first meal usually doesn't occur until about 12:30, 1, or even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it all depends on the month as well. So it takes a while for me to actually eat my first meal. But the first thing that I drink every single morning is the apple cider vinegar and lemon juice water. The next thing that I do is I will go ahead and I'll rinse my mouth out, because you don't want that residue of the apple cider vinegar sitting, on your teeth. So I always rinse out my mouth first. And the thing that I do is oil pulling. And I've talked about oil quite a bit. I've even written an article about oil pulling and about all of the benefits that you can get from oil pulling. I'm going to make sure that my volume is working properly. Just bear with me 1 second, because I think I turned down. All right. So the next thing I do is oil pulling, and I'm going to share with you the particular oil that I use. Now, you're free to use sesame seed oil, or you can use olive oil. I like to use coconut oil, and this is the one that I typically use. Let me just, something keeps popping up here. So this is the one that I use, and all I do, I take about a teaspoon of the coconut oil, and I will just put it in my mouth, and I just start swishing it around. Sometimes I will add some essential oils, like a drop of clove, or maybe a drop of peppermint essential oil, or a drop of cinnamon. Cinnamon is also really good. So I would just take that, and I start to swish it around in my mouth, and I do that for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, because about that time my mouth starts to get full, and then I spit it into the trash. And hi, Quincy. This is my firstborn. Love you too, son. So I will add, the drop of essential oil in there if I'm going to do that. Swish it around in my mouth for about 5 to 10 minutes. And by that time, my mouth starts to get full, so I spit it into the trash. You do not want to spit coconut oil into the sink or into the tub, whatever the case is, because it can clog your plumbing. So always spit, if you're using coconut oil, always spit that into the trash. And even if you're using any of the other oils, just get into the habit of spitting it into the trash, okay? So I swish that around, and typically I would take another half a teaspoon of the coconut oil, put it into my mouth again, and I will swish. I usually try to do oil pulling twice, because if you were here yesterday, I talked about how oil pulling is to bring up the excess mucus out of my head, out of my chest, and that's why I tend to do it twice, because I just happen to have a lot of excess mucus that's there. And I spoke about it a little bit yesterday in that live stream. So if you do oil pulling, I'd love to know. I am actually considering doing a challenge, a 30-day challenge for oil pulling. And I do have a group already established, and a couple of people have been asking to join. So if you're interested in joining the oil pulling challenge, just hop on over to my Facebook page called Beating Lupus the Natural Way, and you'll see the group called oil pulling 30-day oil pulling challenge, and you can just ask to join. And once we have enough people that are in there, then we get going with the challenge. It's very easy to do. Literally, you really only need your oil of choice, which is coconut, olive oil, or sesame seed oil. And if you want to use some essential oils like clove, cinnamon, or peppermint, then that's really all you need, and about 5 to 10 minutes of your day. And I try to do it in the morning. It's best to do oil pulling in the morning, but if you don't have time in the morning to do it, at least try to do it in the evening before you go to bed. All right, so I'm talking about oil pulling a lot. Here are some benefits to oil pulling. It helps to improve your oral health. And a lot of people may not necessarily know this, but when I was first diagnosed with lupus, one of the places that it attacked were my teeth. And I would wake up, in the mornings, and I would have, let me turn this down. I would wake up and I would have, my mouth would be filled with blood. Let me just turn my phone down. I'm sorry. Totally forgot to do that. And randomly, my gums would just start to bleed. And I would have teeth that are shaking. I ended up losing a few teeth because of the issues that lupus caused at the beginning of my diagnosis. So I did have to have some dental work done. But then I discovered oil pulling, and oil pulling has saved my teeth, or the teeth that I have left. Right? So oil pulling definitely helps with your oral health. And I mentioned this yesterday as well. You do have a biome in your mouth, and if you do not make enough saliva, you could end up with cavities. So there's a balance that has to be maintained in your mouth, and oil pulling will definitely help with this. Another benefit to oil pulling is it helps to whiten your teeth. So if you do it for nothing else, if you drink a lot of coffee, or you drink a lot of teas that have turmeric in it. I love turmeric, and I have several tea blends that have turmeric in there, and my teeth are not yellow because the oil pulling definitely helps to whiten your teeth. The other thing it does, I kind of hinted at this, is it moisturizes your gums. So it helps with the health of your gums as well. And by having healthy gums, you therefore have healthy teeth, right? It increases saliva production. I mentioned that as well, that having a good balance of saliva does help with the health of your teeth, because when you don't have enough saliva in your mouth, it can contribute to cavities. So it helps with that. This doesn't necessarily depend on the kind of oil, but coconut oil is really good if you're trying to reduce, if you have any kind of inflammation in your mouth. Say you do have like gum disease, or really swollen gums. Using an oil like coconut oil will help to reduce the inflammation by doing the oil pulling that way. But if the inflammation is not a huge concern of yours, simply using your sesame seed oil or using the olive oil, that's sufficient. But I love coconut oil because of the anti-inflammatory benefits that it provides. Oil pulling also helps to remove harmful bacteria, because the term, oil pulling, it actually helps to pull out the bacteria from your teeth and gums that are not contributing to your health. And it collects into, as you're swishing, collects into all of that stuff, and then you can simply spit it out. If you add in the essential oils like peppermint, cinnamon, clove, it also helps to improve your breath. But even if you don't do the oil pulling over time, that also helps to improve your breath if having bad breath is a concern of yours as well. So those are just some of the benefits of the oil pulling, and that's the next thing. How often should you do the oil pulling? Well, I actually do oil pulling once a day, and I do that in the morning. I do it after I drink the apple cider vinegar and the lemon juice, and I rinse my mouth out. Then I do the oil pulling right after, and I do it. I do it twice in the morning. I swish it around for about 5 minutes, and usually after that, my mouth gets really full, so I spit that out, and then I do it again right after. And the second time, my mouth is not as full, so oil pulling will take me between 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. I have another comment. Hi, Gina. This is the first time I visited with you on your live chat. What do you do in your daily devotions? And how do you calm yourself to start so early day? Okay. I have the Bible on I guess it's called an MP3 player, so I can listen to it. I usually have it, a lot of the times I let my Bible run throughout the night and just, speak the Bible throughout my room. A lot of the times I'll put it on in the morning and I'll have it just playing because I sort of like to flip through. I just like to be able to listen to it. I do have a physical Bible as well, but I like to be able to listen to it, and it's where I can actually program whatever passages I want to read. I also have certain other music that I listen to, like they're called solfeggio frequencies, that I will also have playing in the background. So that kind of helps to put me in a like kind of a meditative state. So my devotions could be either just listening to the Bible. I also do journaling. So I have my journal, and I will just write, thoughts that come into my head. I will just start writing them down. And that's a good practice to do, is to just do some journaling. A lot of the times early in the morning and it's really quiet, I think my mind is just a lot more clearer at that point, and it just a really good way for me to start my day. So it's a lot of the times it involves, yes, reading the Bible, and then it also involves, and sometimes it's just I do meditate without any of that going on, just to kind of get my mind really kind of, I don't know if empty is the right term, and then ideas. I get a lot of downloads that time of the morning, so I can just do the journaling, or whatever comes to me, I will start to write down. Because if you have a really strong spiritual practice, sometimes I say this and people think I'm kind of weird, but I do hear God's voice, and I do get downloads, and I do get either visions, either when I'm meditating, or actually visions when I'm just wide awake. So and early in the morning is usually when that happens. And the next question: how do you calm yourself to start your meditation? But I'm also going to talk a little bit later on about the cold immersion therapy. And another thing that I do is called tapping. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, because I'm just kind of going through the routine. So how often should you do the oil pulling? I mentioned that I do it twice, but it's at the same time. It's just half a teaspoon, 5 to 10 minutes, and then another half teaspoon, and about another 5 minutes, and then I'm done with that. All right. So the next thing that I do after I'm finished with the oil pulling is I do like what's called a dry brushing technique, and it's just simply using a soft dry brush and brushing your skin. And what that does for you, that also has a lot of different benefits. If you have any questions about anything that I'm mentioning, just pop them into the chat, okay? The dry brushing is literally kind of exfoliation. You're basically getting rid of all of the dead skin before you go and you take a shower. So the dry brushing will help to remove the dead skin. If you have any issues with cellulite, the dimply skin, that also kind of helps over time to even out that dimpling effect on your skin. Doing the dry brushing also helps to remove toxins, because it works with your lymphatic system. And I mentioned this yesterday, that your lymphatic system is basically kind of like your garbage disposal. It helps to remove toxins from your body. So when you do your dry brushing, you're also helping your lymphatic system to kind of move all of the junk out of your body. All right. So I mentioned the exfoliation, but doing the dry brushing is also very relaxing. And you'll notice you could even use dry brushing as a meditative time. So if you're short on time and you can't do everything that I've mentioned, you can also use this as a time to meditate, because the dry brushing is just so relaxing. And what you want to do is just simply spread a towel, and you get down to your bare minimum. You just get your brush, and I typically start from my feet, and I work my way up, and then I work from my arms, and I work down, and I typically would land at my heart. So feet up, and you just keep you massage until, and you're going to see if your skin is really dry, you'll see all of the the dry skin falling off. So you want to spread a towel just so you can collect all of that, all of the dust from the dead skin. I know it sounds kind of gross, but it's very, very good for your skin. It's very good for your lymphatic system as well. So dry brushing. Then the next thing I do is what's called abhyanga, which is an Ayurvedic term that basically means a self-massage with oil. Now, there are several ways that you can do this. You can just use regular oil. And yesterday, let me grab this real quick. Yesterday, I shared an infused oil that I use as a massage oil. This is calendula. This is calendula infused oil, which is really good for pain. So I mentioned yesterday that I use this for my son who has the sickle cell trait and occasionally has some concerns with joint pain. But this is also used as just the abhyanga massage oil. And you can use any oil to do this. You can use like the coconut oil, but the thing is with the coconut oil, you have to remember that you're going to shower right after. So coconut oil could clog your drain unless you're using the coconut oil that stays liquid at room temperature. All right. So if that's what you're working with, then you can use that certainly. Otherwise, you can just use some sesame seed oil is really good. Olive oil is really good. And basically all you're doing is adding the moisture back into your skin and get so that when you go into the shower, you're going to wash off the excess oil. But your skin is your biggest organ. So whatever you put on there is going to get absorbed in. So that's why you just massage yourself down with it. And you want the oil to be warm. So you want to heat it up just a little bit, not to where it's going to burn, but just warm it up just a little bit. And then you're going to just massage your entire body. You can, again, work from your feet coming up and then work from your hands going down. Make sure you get your face and everything in your neck, even your head. I don't have hair, so it's easy for me. But I know some people with hair, they just, massage get your fingertips with the oil, and then you just massage it into your scalp that way. But you don't necessarily have to do your head if you don't want to do it, but massage everywhere else. And then you go and you take your shower afterwards, and you just do your regular shower to just wash off all of the excess oil. I actually have another item I can share with you. This is a sugar that I created. This is a brown sugar scrub, and this has in some essential oils in addition to the calendula oil that I mentioned. And you can make something like this and kind of combine the dry brushing with the oil. But this is just something that I use separately. Like when I am in the shower, I use this as a gentle scrub while I'm in there, and it smells divine. It smells so good, and it just feels so good whenever I'm. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Let me see if I can show you. I do have 2 crystals on top because I do put crystals in my. But you can see it's just brown sugar, and then it has the oil, and I just use that as a gentle exfoliation while I'm in the shower. I don't use it all the time, but whenever I feel like I need to, just a little extra TLC, I just use that. All right, Brenda is asking what size brush. Now, what you want to do is find yourself a small brush that can just fit into your hand. I wish I had brought mine. It's just a small brush with, very soft bamboo bristles. And you want to just be able to hold it really, really nice. It doesn't have to be these gigantic ones. If it has a handle, you want something with a handle, you can work with that as well. But just some things is small enough that you can, handle well as you're massaging your body. Hi, Rosanna. It's good to see you. So, yes, so that's with the abhyanga and the dry brushing. Now, a few benefits with the abhyanga, which is the self-oiling massage. It does improve circulation. It also increases the moisture in your skin, which I mentioned. But what you're going to do is you're going to wash off the excess oil as you get in when you get into your shower. But your skin is going to absorb what it needs from the oil that you put on. Okay, so if you are doing the oil massage and your skin is just sucking it in, chances are your skin is really, really dry and your body is just crying out for, for some moisture. So just go ahead. I mean, my skin, I just love how it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so you want to just add on. Your skin is going to tell you what it needs. All right. So if you're applying it and you notice that it's just like going in really quickly, just add a little extra, because your body is going to absorb what it needs, and then you'll be able to just wash off what it doesn't need. Hopefully that makes sense, right? It's also going to improve your skin tone by doing, and the dry brushing also helps with this. And then you incorporate the Abhyanga, or the self oiling massage, and you're going to, over time, you're going to notice that the tone of your skin does improve. It's also going to help to strengthen body tissue as well as lubricate your organs on the inside. And that might sound kind of strange, but remember, your body is actually absorbing the moisture from the oil. So your organs are being protected by your skin. So your internal organs are also going to be benefiting from this oil massage as well. And you can do this in the morning. You can also do it at night before you go to bed. And what it's going to do is promote better sleep. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, you can simply do your Abhyanga oil massage at night before you go to bed, right? Now, after I just mentioned that after doing the oil massage, I jump in the shower and I take my regular shower. But I also do a simple, like a salt wash. It's, some people do a salt bath, and like once a month I try to do a salt bath. I know people who do a salt bath every single day. But if we're not able to take a salt bath, what I do is, and I'm going to share these with you, have them here. I do have an Epsom salt blend that I've created, and I use that on a regular basis. So I'm always, remaking it. What I do is, because I don't take a bath every single day, I shower. I have this. This is just a little bag, and what I do is I fill this up with the salt blend, and I get under the shower and I literally just hold this over my head, and the water will dissolve the salt. And then remember, I said that your skin will absorb whatever goes on it. Now, you're not going to get the same benefit as you do from soaking into an Epsom salt bath for 30 to 45 minutes. But I do get some benefit from doing this. You can also do a foot soak. So I can just simply take this and throw into a container of water, and then just have my feet resting in there for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I get benefit that way as well. But I like to do this every single morning, and just the feeling of having the salt, because sometimes I can taste it, but you can definitely just feel it as it washes over. It said that salt is a great purifier. So I do a salt bath, or salt shower, I guess you can call it, every morning. And because I don't have any hair, I just hold it right over my head. If you want to do something like this and you have hair, I would recommend just putting on a shower cap and then just, doing it that way, and it'll just wash all the way down. So that is one easy way of doing your shower, a salt bath or salt shower. So you can do the salt bath, like I mentioned there, or the shower, and then you can also do a salt bath where you immerse in the tub, and or you can do the foot soak. Those are different ways of incorporating the Epsom salt bath into your routine. And you can do a foot soak maybe 2 to 3 times a week. If you're going to do an Epsom salt bath soak, maybe once a week. But I would try to do it at least once a month, because a lot of people don't realize that you're deficient in magnesium, and the Epsom salt actually provides magnesium to your body. And if you're not taking a magnesium supplement, this is a great way to get it as well, because magnesium is very important to your nervous system. All right. The other thing I do after, while I'm in the shower, I'm doing the salt. I finished doing that. There's a tapping and an energy routine that I do, and it's I think I'll make a separate video where I can teach you what I do there. But if you're not familiar with tapping, it's like another meditation um, that it helps with your parasympathetic nervous system. And if you suffer from anxiety or stress or depression, doing it's an EFT, or just a simple tapping routine kind of helps with that in the morning. So the tapping routine helps with my energy in addition to helping with the parasympathetic. But it's also tied in with a cold immersion shower that I do every single day. So while the shower is running cold, I'm doing a tapping technique, which and there's a lot of these on YouTube. So if you look up EFT or you look up tapping routine, you can find something that's going to work for you. I've incorporated the traditional tapping with Donna Eden's 5-minute energy routine, and you can look her up. She has a lot of videos on energy routines, and a lot of them are just a mere 5 minutes long. So I've created my own tapping plus the 5-minute energy, and I've kind of combined something that works for me, and I do that while the shower is running cold. And doing a cold immersion, whether you're jumping into icy water or you're jumping into an icy swimming pool, or I know some people who actually have converted like a deep freezer and they sit in there. Sorry, Gina, I lost the chat. Oh, thanks, Brenda. She said I wanted you to know that I've learned so much. So I've kind of combined an energy routine that works for me with the tapping. So if you've never done a cold immersion and you have like anxiety, or you're kind of nervous all the time, a lot of people don't realize when I coming on to do a video, each time I do a video is like doing my first video all over again. I'm nervous every time I get on camera. And this is one way of me working with it. Doing the cold immersion and then the tapping routine and the energy routine does help with the parasympathetic. And if you're not familiar with the parasympathetic, it's basically that part of your nervous system that deals with your the fight, flight, or freeze part. So basically, why I'm doing the cold immersion and the tapping is to kind of activate the part where I am, so I'm not constantly freezing, where I'm not constantly afraid all the time. So you're activating that part of of just feeling safe, not feeling anxious, not feeling afraid. So that's why doing a cold immersion will help with the parasympathetic, as well as doing the tapping will also help with activating the parasympathetic as well. And there are other ways of doing it, but these are the ways that I found that actually help me. So I usually end my morning routine, or at least end the shower, with about 30 seconds up to 3 minutes of the cold immersion. Just having the shower run as cold as it can possibly get without you turning it off. So you can start off with the warm, but always end with as cold of a shower as you can handle. And if you happen to live close to a river, or in an area where you're close to the ocean and it gets really cold, you can probably try to do this at least once a week, where you just go to the ocean and just jump in and stay there for about 3 minutes. You don't want hypothermia to set in, but just jump in for a couple minutes and then you get out and you can go on with the rest of your day, whatever your day entails. But doing the cold immersion absolutely helps with activating your parasympathetic. All right, so I mentioned the energy routine. So I do have, once I get out of the shower, I have another very short energy routine that I do, probably 20 to 30 seconds. And then after that, I would go ahead and I dry off, and then I would get dressed. Now, even the drying off part it's very intentional. I start with my feet and I would dry coming up, and then I'd start with my head and my arms, and I would work in to where I land at my heart. So it's very intentional. It's very deliberate because I always want to remind myself by landing at my heart that all there is love. And that's the, love is everything. So it's very intentional, everything that I do as part of my morning routine. Any questions? I've gotten some really good questions so far. Do you have any other questions? Just pop them in the chat because I know I'm talking a lot. So I end up getting dressed, and then what I do after that is I go and I grab my facial moisturizer, and this is something I use every single day. And I know it looks kind of dark, but it doesn't go on dark. So this is what I use. I've been using this or a variation of it for the last probably 8 years. And this was one of the first things that I created to kind of help with if you've been diagnosed with lupus and you have the what's called the malar rash or the lupus rash across your face. It looks kind of like the shape of a butterfly. That was one of the things that I had virtually every day. So in all of my research with essential oils, I created a blend that has worked for me, and I've been using it ever since. So that goes on before anything else goes on to my skin. And then from there, I usually start the day. And it seems like, oh, that was a really long routine, but it maybe, well, from time I wake up until the time I get out of the shower and put that on, yes, you're looking at a few hours. But if you wake up early, give yourself enough time to do your meditation, to do your devotion. It just feels so nice waking up early in the morning, and it gets my day off to a good start. So whatever it is that you want to do as far as a meditation, then just do that. And if you want to incorporate any of these into your routine, feel free. If you have any questions about them, just pop them in the comment section. I know that I'm streaming to 3 different locations, so I'm not seeing all of the comments. I think the ones that I'm looking at, these all came from YouTube. But if you're looking from another location, feel free to just pop them in the chat, and I will make sure I get to those questions at the end of the live stream, and you'll be able to see the responses. Okay, now I did say that I was going to make a huge announcement. And I decided to do this today because if you're not familiar, if you haven't noticed, today is November the 11th, or it's 11/11. So I'm going to make an offer today. But I mentioned if you want to do the oil pulling challenge, just go to my lupus page called Beating Lupus the Natural Way on Facebook, and you'll see it there. Or I'll also pop it below. I'll pop the link for it below the this video, so you can see. So you can just go in and request to join. So the oil pulling challenge, that is completely free. But I'm sure you're aware that I do have other programs that I offer. So for today, that being 11/11, what I'm going to do is, I've never done this before, and it's probably kind of crazy that I'm even thinking about doing this. But I don't know about you, but sometimes I get these really crazy ideas when I'm showering. And this morning, as I was showering, I was told that I needed to offer these two programs at these ridiculous prices. If you suffer with any, I shouldn't say suffer, if you have any issues with like decluttering, or if you've gotten to a point where things just kind of bother you, I have a program that I call Lighten Your Life. I've started on I guess what's called a minimalist journey a few years back. And one summer, I went through my wardrobe and I got rid of, I think, 2/3 of my wardrobe because I was just tired of having too much clothes. And then I think before that year was out, I ended up going through my remaining third of my wardrobe and ended up getting rid of about another third of the wardrobe. and I got rid of so many other items from throughout the house, right? Went through my kitchen and found out that I had like 3 soup ladles, and um, a bunch of spatulas, and there was just too much. So I started creating boxes, donation, throw away, whatever the case was. And I learned that, I'm pretty good at this decluttering thing. So I've written a program called Lighten Your Life. And that particular program originally sells for $97. No, that's not right. The other program sells for $97. This one goes for $197. What I'm going to do is, it's now 1:53 until 11 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. For the first 11 people who jump on that link, and I'm going to post the link as soon as I get off. I'm going to post it in the comment section. The first 11 people who jump on will get the program called Lighten Your Life for $11. Do you see a trend here? So it's November 11th, 11/11, and for until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, you can get that program for $11. It's the Lighten Your Life, and it's already been reduced. And that is only until 11/12. So you have until 11/11, and then come 11/12 or 11/15, somewhere between there, I'm going to go in, and it's going to go back up to the regular price of $197. Also, my program called, yes, it is a tax write-off when you donate items to the Salvation Army or to any thrift store for that matter. They will ask you if you want a tax write-off, or if you want the receipt, which you can use as for taxes. The other program is the Roadmap to Multidimensional Wellness, which is my $297 program, and that's a 3-month program. That one is being offered today for $111, only up until 11 o'clock, 11 minutes after 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me say that again, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the first 11 people who go in and grab that will get it at $111 until, but you have to get it before 11 p.m. tonight to get it at that price. Any questions? So you're looking at one program for $11, and the other one is for the $111 until 11 p.m. tonight. All right. So I'm going to post the links to those once I end the broadcast, and then you can simply go in and I may actually increase the amount of people. The one for the Lighten Your Life, I'm going to say more than 11 people. However many people, I think up to a limit of, I want to say up to a limit of 111 people for that, because that one is a little bit easier to work with. And there's going to be a private group for each of these programs as well. So you're not going to have people who are working on Lighten Your Life in the same, group with those who are doing the Roadmap to Multidimensional Wellness program, right? Each of these programs has their own private group that you will come in, and you'll be in there because you've paid for the program. All right. So do any questions? And as soon as I get off, I will go ahead and pop those links in. But if you go to the Lupus page, you'll be able to find the links to all of those programs right there on the homepage. You'll be able to see those there. So if we have no further questions, or if I will probably see some as soon as I get off, because I know I don't see any from Facebook, but I'm sure there are a few. So I'll go on and I will check for any questions or comments. I'll respond to those. And I will check at the end of at around 11:15 tonight, and that particular offer will go away. Well, it'll go back up until up to the regular cost. The original cost of the Roadmap to Multidimensional Wellness program is $297. So today you can get it for $111. And the other one, the Lighten Your Life, is being offered for $11. And I think that this, after this year, a lot of people are probably thinking, you've been at home and you've been around all of your things, and you're probably saying, after a while, things just kind of get to you, and they start to actually, instead of you taking care of things, the things just start to, kind of overwhelm you. So if you've ever thought about minimalizing or decluttering, this is a really good program. I go into a lot of detail in this one. And you'll definitely, it's not something that I'm going to kind of throw at you. I'm going to be there to kind of to work with you with each particular step that we do. You're not going to declutter your entire house in one day, because that's going to be really painful and really hard to do actually in one day. So we're going to take it in baby steps and in just tiny little, tiny chunks throughout the program. All right. So with that, if you have any questions about any of the techniques that I've shared with you as well, if you want to learn more about any of them, like the Abhyanga or the oil pulling, I can do an individual video on those as well. So just have to let me know. All right. So thank you guys for sharing this time with me. I know I didn't want this one to be too long, but I do appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day. Or some of you might be at home because it's Veterans Holiday. But thank you so much for being here and sharing this time. And I will check on all of the questions and all of the comments. And I will see you all again next Tuesday for tea time, but definitely next Wednesday again for Wisdom Wednesday. And I may also pop in later on during the week to respond to any of the questions that I might have got. All right. Thank you again so much. And I will see you all again real soon.